A potentially major winter storm is set to impact areas of the central U.S. to then move east and possibly cause devastating impacts. Hello, everyone. My name is Charlie, and I'm a weather enthusiast. I'm 16 years old. I live in South Carolina, and I'm here right now, and my job is going to be to bring you the latest information we have. This is an afternoon update, not going to be a very long video. I don't have a lot of time. I'll get another one out probably 9 o'clock or so, and we'll go more in depth, so tune into that if you can. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment where you're watching from. Hope you guys have had a good first half of your day here. So we're going to start this off, and we're going to look at watches, warnings, and advisories from the National Weather Service here. We have areas you see in blue. These are winter storm watches, and they have expanded these pretty far east from this morning. So the entire area here these are all on winter storm watches. So they expire in 5 days. They're mainly valid Sunday and Monday. And then we have out here, we have extreme cold watches as well, in this like lighter blue color that you see. This down here in this lighter color is a cold weather advisory. Just really focus on this darker blue color. Earlier this morning, these were extended about here or so, maybe even more like here, and then further back. So they've expanded these a lot, and for good reason. The storm is not really looking a whole lot different as of the time I'm making this video. So we're going to go into the latest here. This is the European model from this morning. It's the 12Z run. Hopefully by the time we make this evening's video, we will have the 18Z. But if we don't, we don't. We'll do the best we can. So it starts out as a major winter storm across areas of the Central Plains, getting into Friday afternoon into the overnight hours on Saturday, and really begins to amplify as we get into Saturday afternoon. It's across the Central Plains, Ohio Valley and areas, Cumberland Plateau, and this snow and sleet, freezing rain line here is still to be determined. It's moving around. The Euro has been the first to tick this north, and I say a tick as in 200 to 250 miles. An absolutely diabolical tick north, if you ask me. And either way, it did that about 12 hours ago. Kind of started 24 hours ago, but really only 12 to 18 hours ago. And with the latest run, it didn't shift a whole lot further north. Maybe a little bit. Here was the run before. I don't know why it's having loading issues. But either way, that's the latest run. It's almost exactly the same. So it hasn't shifted a whole lot further north on the latest run. We get into the overnight hours on Sunday into the morning, and we have an all-out ice storm across areas of Tennessee and the western deep south areas of Arkansas and Louisiana really getting hit hard here. Little Rock, Arkansas, you have changed from getting a lot of snow to a lot of freezing rain and sleet very quickly here, and I feel bad for you guys. And Tennessee here, getting the entire state getting freezing rain after you started off as some snow before changing to heavy rain in the central areas of Tennessee. Again, a diabolical shift north, as well as it's pretty strong low pressure center down over areas of the deep south that will be funneling warmer air up into areas of the deep south. And that's why we have this warm nose here, but still freezing rain ongoing in the Carolinas here in Georgia. Atlanta to Charlotte, the I-85 corridor there, getting a lot of freezing rain up into Virginia even. You're having mixed issues up to Washington, D.C., guys. That's how far this thing has shifted north. But it has not done as much on the last run. At least it's not continuing to shift as of now. It kind of shifted a lot and then sat there. It might come crashing back down. I have no reason to think it will, and I have no reason to think it won't. That probably is going to tick a lot of people off, because you're watching this video and you want answers. I understand that. Trust me, I do too. I just helped my grandparents set their generator up, and because I think we're going to need it down here in the upstate South Carolina region. But it really gets going the overnight hours on Sunday and last a lot of the day before switching to rain in my neck of the woods. So who knows with that? Before a flash freeze possibility afterwards, with these temperatures behind the front dropping very rapidly, and this moves on out. Snow's getting all the way up into the Great Lakes region and northeast on a run like this, with a lot of snow possible up here. So that is the latest Euro, okay? I did finally find a freezing rain graphic on Facebook. I do not know whose this was, and I apologize for doing this to people, but I can't find an ice graphic otherwise. So I'm going to show you this. So we'll leave this, we'll leave it here. This is the Euro from this morning. This is how much ice it dropped. I am concerned about this, guys. I really am. This area here of a lot of freezing rain. You can get a quarter of an inch of freezing rain, and it's becoming dangerous. Half an inch, and you're starting to run into much more widespread outages. And anywhere in this like teal color where it says over an inch is just absurd totals here. I mean, some of these areas here that are seeing 1.5 inches, 1 6/10, 1 8/10 is outrageous totals. It's not outrageous in the sense that I don't think it's possible. It's outrageous in the impacts you would receive from something like this. This is a big one, guys. This would be historic if this happened. And areas like Charlotte, the Greenville-Spartanburg area, even down to Atlanta, possibly, depending on the exact locations, it could shut your area down for a week. That's possible. I hate to say that, and I might eat my words. There's a lot of bitter people out there, and I would not be surprised if this video gets some comments telling me that I suck, or that I'm doing a bad video. I'm making a bad video. I'm doing a bad job, and I'm doing the best I can. I hope that you guys have some sympathy for your meteorologist and don't hate them too much, because this has been a very, very difficult one to figure out. It really has. Just feast your eyes on this, guys. This is preparation time in areas of the northern half of South Carolina, and then most, if not all, if you were in North Carolina, I would prepare. Southern Virginia especially, but like areas in Virginia Beach, for example, don't really get a whole lot. The exact locations of these higher totals are not as important. Unfortunately, I don't have a sector for the South Central U.S., and there's plenty of ice to talk about down there. It doesn't show it on this graphic, but that's a terrible color. Let me pick. I'll use this. These totals likely extend something like that into Louisiana and Arkansas. I wouldn't doubt it at all. These are even heavier back here. These are more widespread totals of up near 1.5 to 2 inches. A lot of freezing rain. Devastating, catastrophic freezing rain in areas. We move this on. This is the Canadian. I do actually have access to this one. This is very similar. It's it looks a lot similar to the Euro and where this ice really sets up. We have an area here, although the Euro's more. Terrible color. Let's pick this one. Very impressive totals here across the Carolinas and Georgia. Atlanta points north, the Greenville-Spartanburg area, over an inch here. Charlotte at 7/10 of an inch. Columbia down here, 3 to 4/10. Drops off quickly, though. That gets the job done to get your power out. And then here's areas further to the south that we couldn't see in the other frame, where we've got really diabolical totals here. That does indeed say 4 1/10. Subtract about 20%, 30% from these, because this is essentially taking all of the moisture available in the atmosphere and assuming it all falls as rain or unfrozen precipitation, liquid precipitation. So some of these totals, like 4 1/10, is absolutely insane. We're not going to see that. Forget that this site does soundings like this. Here we go. It's just a lot of freezing rain here in areas, devastating freezing rain. If you take this 4/10, you can cut that in half, and it's still more than, you can cut that in half 2 or 3 times, and it's still dangerous. That tells you how bad this could be. The Euro is pretty similar to this too, so we have some model agreement there. GFS is actually starting. I'm going to pull it up here on the fly because I just realized I forgot. This is the same graphic in the same place. Here's the GFS. GFS is a little bit further to the south with some of this, some of the heaviest stuff, but Atlanta gets absolutely smashed with freezing rain here. We see areas of a lot of freezing rain in Georgia. They really get targeted. You still see the same footprint here across areas of the deep south, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee. Tennessee gets hit a little bit harder on this one. You get more of these totals up into Tennessee and Kentucky, because on the GFS, you don't get warm nosed as bad. The warm nose is down here. See that same shape? The Euro has it all the way up here, hundreds of miles apart. Coastal areas, there's 1/2 inch in Myrtle Beach. If you live down that way, be weather aware. This is exactly why I said if you live in North Carolina, pay close attention. And then areas further south. Just for what it's worth, I don't know. I gotta make a decision. Let's just look at no. Let's do this the right way. Let's look at the South Central U.S. What does it show for our ice? Let the frames load in here. Drum roll, please. And here we go. Oh my goodness. So yeah, some of these are not nearly as bad as they are out further areas to the east. This is more than enough to get the job done when it comes to taking your power out and making travel impossible. More than enough. Again, keep that 1/4 inch threshold in mind when looking at this, because it truly is a good one to look at. And yeah, so that's the latest on our freezing rain. So we're going to look at the GFS model here, bring it back. So yeah, this is why some of these areas seem to receive more freezing rain on the GFS. So I mean, the GFS has continued, and it has been very stubborn in letting up on the sleet. Sleet on this site is going to show up in purple. You see it over Dallas and Memphis here on this particular frame and this run. Pink is freezing rain, but it does a lot more with sleet. Sleet, guys, if you didn't know, is just little ice pellets, kind of like tiny hail almost. But it's very dense, and it piles up like snow, but at least, in the very least, it does not stick on your power lines and take them down. So you have that to work for, right? We move this. It really gets going here. The overnight hours on Friday into Saturday. It's the same thing. Begins to really take shape here. This is getting into Saturday morning across northern Arkansas and Tennessee. It's much more suppressed. A lot less moisture further north on this one. Kansas and Nebraska get less on this, and have continued to do so. And then we move this east here, and just lots of wintry mix, even some snow, freezing rain, sleet, everything making its way into the eastern U.S., getting into lunchtime on Saturday. So it's one of the earlier runs and one of the earlier models in general. But it has a lot of sleet. I mean, I'm pretty sure, I don't have a graphic pulled up, but I'm pretty sure that the GFS has been consistently dropping 4 to 6 inches in the upstate South Carolina area where I live. I don't think we're going to see that. I don't know if the atmosphere even has it in it to drop 6 inches of sleet. I mean, that's 6 inches of like little like ice pellets. I mean, that's a lot, but it's possible. I don't think it's likely though. Heavy snow in the southern Appalachians getting into Virginia, northern half of North Carolina. Let's see here, Tennessee, Kentucky, as well as getting into areas of the Ohio Valley. There's almost like 2 areas of moisture here, and then they connect. And just like that, we kind of have this, we have a massive winter storm. This is getting into the early morning hours on Sunday. Still a lot of mixing issues, a lot of freezing rain and sleet across the Carolinas and Georgia, even Alabama a little bit. And then rain starting to pick up down in the deeper south areas, as well as snow back over Oklahoma. You kind of start off as some and you get more. It's possible that this happens. And the low, you see a low down here in the southeast north of Panama City and a low out over the ocean, and they kind of switch, they kind of do a handshake, and then the easternmost low takes over and brings the northeast just a prize of a winter storm. If you're in New York, for example, and some of these runs have not let, well, really none of them. Let's say Toronto, you live in Toronto and you're like, I wish we could shift this north. Be careful about how much you wish for it to shift north, because you shift it north enough and you're going to have mixing issues. You're not going to have mixing issues in Toronto. I'm very confident of that. We'd have to shift hundreds of miles north. But at the same time, be careful what you wish for here. Does it have an actual impact? No, but just, you know what I'm saying. We have heavy rain in areas of the deep south. Atlanta switching to rain, and in my neck of the woods here, Atlanta to Charlotte generally stays freezing rain or sleet the entire event. Over 24 hours straight of freezing rain and sleet. That's devastating, guys. You better believe it's devastating. And do I think some of these totals are likely? No, I don't think we're going to get 4 inches of freezing rain or 6 inches of sleet in some of these areas. But the fact that it's showing up on our model guidance just over 100 hours out is scary. It's impressive, but it's concerning. So that's the latest GFS. What about the Euro Ensemble? This is, well, I have the wrong product selected, so that's just great. Let's try, where is it here? This is the Euro Ensemble. Where is my, I apologize for this, guys. I'm trying to find I can't find it. So this is the Euro Ensemble. Well, I guess I can just show you the total snowfall. Let's just do that. I didn't have a graphic pulled up for this anyway, so that's perfect actually. This is the latest, the 12Z run. Areas on this site that you see, let's move Epic Pen out of the way. Anywhere you see purple, so for example, these areas here are, and this purple is 6 inches or more, and this pink is a foot or more. So very, very high. This is an ensemble, guys. This is not like an operational run where you have some like crazy stuff going on, anything like that. Yeah, 12 inches starts where it turns to this pink, kind of magenta color. But we still have some sort of a signal down to the south. It's just, it's not really impressive at all. I really think areas, say Charlotte, North Carolina, Nashville, Tennessee, definitely, and like Memphis, you guys are starting to be on the line, and I really think your snow is leaving you. I have some viewers in all of those areas, and I feel bad for you guys. I feel bad for us too, because we not only don't get snow, but instead we get a crippling ice storm that could knock us out for like a week or more. I mean, that's not, no one wants that. So yeah, I'm glad I pulled that up. You can see, it kind of fills in more later. Who knows what's going on? But yeah, that's the latest Euro Ensemble run for total snowfall. It has kept, if not shifted south a tiny bit, it's kept most of the heavy snow in about the same places. Northern Tennessee, Kentucky gets hit hard, West Virginia, Pennsylvania get hit pretty hard. So, latest Euro Ensemble there for snow. This is the blend of all models. I'm going to reload this here and see if we have more frames, because as of earlier, we did not. So let's move Epic Pen back out the way here. And what is it going to show us if we have enough? We might not. Okay, this is the last frame. That's unfortunate. So this is getting into Saturday morning. Okay, we already have, this is very heavy. This is blend of all models. This is the areas of heaviest winter precipitation here. Very widespread here. New Mexico, areas of the deep south and southern plains into the Cumberland Plateau. On this run, Nashville stays more snow, and it does mostly until the end. But notice that we have frozen precipitation starting to make its way into the eastern seaboard states as early as Saturday morning. That's definitely a possibility here. So it's very expansive. It's the latest for that. And then this is the Euro AI for the latest snowfall. I think it does well showing snowfall here. And yeah, we have a very impressive looking snow footprint that makes a lot of people mad because, and I'll tell you why, if you don't already know, these areas were originally seeing all of this stuff, these higher totals. And so were areas, it was really like, it was like this. That's where the heaviest stuff was for a long time, and it just shifted hundreds of miles north. Lot of bitter people out there, including myself. I woke up today and made a video, and I was mad. I was just genuinely, I was in a mad mood. And I shouldn't let the weather affect my mood like that, but I hated to see it. I did. So this is the latest Euro AI. We're just going to look at it. We only have the 6Z Euro on this site for some reason, but it's pretty similar, except it's even further north. Only northern Kentucky gets the most of this. I mean, this is such an aggressive northern shift here. And then northern Arkansas, another kind of hotspot area. It's kind of even leaving Oklahoma City. Now, you might be looking and thinking 7 3/10 of an inch is not little. It's not, but they were looking at more. So it's shifting north for sure. What about the GFS? GFS is the latest run. We're seeing some of these like greens show back up. It's 20 inches in Oklahoma. I don't buy this, guys. I think we're going to have more mixing issues. The GFS has just been kind of all over the place, if you will. I like this run a little bit more because it keeps our snow at least closer in areas to the south. In Tennessee, for the most part, you guys are kept snow. But, I mean, in any scenario, in this black circle I just drew, everyone gets freezing rain, and it ruins your week. And it's not even just ruining your week. It, like, I don't know if once this event is over, there will be deaths from this. I'm going to say it. There will be deaths from people who decided to drive in it and went off the road. There'll be deaths from people who went out to drive and their car broke down, and it's so cold in some of these areas. This is dark, guys. I know that, but it's very realistic, and I'm telling you this so that you don't do these things. There are going to be people who get in their car to go somewhere, and they have issues, or they slide off the road. No one helps them, and they end up freezing. Some of these areas are going to be very, very cold, and I hate to say that, but there will be people that do that. Losing power in an event like this where it's cold when it's happening, and then the day after, there were some model runs, guys. I'm just going to kind of circle. As far as I'm aware, it was in here. Off the GFS. Temperature-wise, the GFS has not done anything too crazy. So, and we look at it. We're at like negative 10 degrees. I mean, just really, really cold. And they're going to be families, or people specifically, just in their houses who don't have a generator. Generators are expensive, guys. Most people don't have a generator. Let's be honest here. We don't have a generator at our house, but my grandparents do. So we're going to probably end up staying over there. Who don't have access to that. They don't necessarily have a wood-burning stove. And hypothermia sets in. I hate that. But that's going to happen to somebody. We're going to look back at this event, and it would blow my mind if there weren't some deaths from this, because this is such a high-impact storm. So don't take that as me saying that you should be scared. Do not do that. But also what I'm telling you to do is be smart. That's what I want you to get from this. So that's the latest GFS. This specific frame is whatever. Let's go back here. Yeah, so I mean, if anything, it kind of... it kept everything mostly the same and increased some totals. So, who knows? Then, let's see. Yeah, so this is the latest from the Euro. This is the 12Z run, just a different way to look at it. Hold on. No, wait, this is GFS. That's why. I was going to say something's wrong here. Let's, on the fly here, let's just do it. This is the RRFSA model. You're going to have to click to a different thing here. So this is going to be relatively smaller on your screen. This is a high resolution model. Hold on. This is the 12Z. Yeah, okay. So if these frames will load in here and pivotal weather will stop being annoying. Let's see here. There we go. I appreciate that. So here we go. Get this out here. Yeah, so I mean, like the RRFSA, do not look at this and take this for gospel. This is a short range model at its maximum time frame, but it's even further north of some of this stuff. I mean, only northern areas of Oklahoma get snow, and the snow is even relatively light. Don't take this for gospel, guys. This is getting into Saturday evening. This event's just, I don't look at this. I shouldn't have showed this to you. We also have the NAM getting within range. So, yeah, the NAM in purple is where sleet is even further north, diabolically far north. Really amplified look here. I mean, it just, yeah. I shouldn't show this to you either because the NAM is terrible in most of every way. Even it's called the North American model, and we're looking at North America, especially in the long range, it's just not any good. Here's another one. This is the Environment Canada's version of the NAM, really. It goes 84 hours out as well. What does it show? So it kind of throws us a bone in keeping this further south, but even still, it's not a whole lot different. Does this have ice? It does. Let's briefly look at this here. I didn't know we had this out. This looks realistic somewhat to me. Let's click our southeast sector. That's where most of this freezing rain is going to fall. Yeah, I mean, this is not surprising to me. The normal Canadian does something very similar to this, where we have a corridor here that's could absolutely just be devastating. This is not within range yet. Sunday's portion has not happened, but we already see totals beginning to show up here. Don't take this for gospel, guys. This is just short range model guidance, and it's not. None of it is great at this range. So yeah, don't pay too much of attention to that. I'm gonna reload this page. Just let everything be refreshed here. So all those warnings should pop up here in a second. Yep. So not really. Hold on. I don't know. Actually, I can't remember. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know if some of these were issued. I don't know. They may have just issued those. Not surprised that they did, but either way, do have them, even if they were there before. But yeah, we're really getting this set up here, guys. We really are. The National Weather Service is calling for this. You know, here's what I recommend you do. I'm going to turn these on. It's going to be a lot of screen clutter. Look up these, right? If you live in, or just look up, you know, if you live in, like I live near Greenville, South Carolina. So I would type in NWS Greenville, South Carolina, and it will bring up their page. Look, navigate through it. All of them are set up different, and try to find their area forecast discussion. They typically use mostly people-friendly terms, not the nerdy terms or anything. And you might actually be able to learn a lot about what they're talking about. I read mine for my area and gets me up to speed on what the professionals, those are actual people, and what they're talking about. But that's all I have for you for right now. Video's getting on the longer side. I have to be at church in about half an hour, and I've got to shower. So I'm going to hop off, but I might make a video. In fact, I probably will make a video when I get back and get it posted by 9 o'clock or so. Please tune into that. We're going to go more in depth than this. If you noticed, I cut a lot of the model guidance. I showed you the basics. Another reason for making a video late, I said this in this morning's video, is that the same planes that fly into hurricanes to give us reconnaissance data are flying around right now across most of the U.S. to give us some isotrophic data, pretty much just and cross-sectional data. So just, taking off from the eastern U.S. and flying west and seeing what the temperatures do at the same altitude, all that good stuff. A lot of complicated science, and but they're doing that now, and that data will likely be fed into this evening's model guidance or tomorrow morning's. So I'll make at least two videos tomorrow as well. Tune into those. I will see you guys in the next one when we do it.